Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first actual Call of Cthulhu campaign. It's going to be a short campaign comprised of 6 one-shots, and hopefully we can do a good job of interweaving them together in a long story with our characters and things like that. So let me just go over a couple things before we begin. My name is John. I will be the keeper. You can find us, you can visit our Linktree at Linktr.ee /rollersofrlyeh to find all the social media links, the Ko-fi page, the Discord server invite, all that stuff. So now that that's out of the way, let me just put on some ground rules here. Pretty common sense. Rule number 1, have fun. Rule number 2, no prejudice of any kind, no hate speech, anything like that. No homophobia. No, and just don't be a dick. That's all encompasses the golden rule is just don't be a dick. If you do, unfortunately, I'm going to have to kick you out. I don't want to, and I don't think we'll have any problems with that. Those are the rules. Most important rule is rule number 1. Let's have some fun. Second most important rule, don't be a dick. Okay, so because we're not dicks, we'll start off with Tatiana. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and introduce your character a little bit.
Okay, so my name is Tatiana, as previously said. Not much to say about me. As for my character, I'm playing Catherine St. Clair, who's an actress. And she has a little bit of interest in the occult, but it's not really publicly known. She's more of has an anthropology, what's the word I want to say? Kind of a slight humorist interest in it. So that's where we are in this story as of now.
Okay, perfect. I look forward to learning more. Some of you who may have listened before, you might recognize Ron. Ron, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
Hey everybody, my name's Ron, as John said, and my character's name is Jacob Orlean. If you watched some of our earlier work that we did, you'd recognize him as the psychologist, Harvard University psychologist. Since that has occurred, though, he's gone through a bit of a transformation, leaving his post at Harvard Medical School and going on sort of an Indiana Jones-esque adventure throughout the Middle East, trying to figure out what exactly is happening with sort of these ancient gods that he keeps seeming to run into. But we might get into more of that later, so I won't reveal too much.
All right, sounds good. And who is playing Evie Parks?
Me, Jana. It's Jana. So I'm playing Edie Parks. She is a very British librarian. Basically just wants to learn all the things. So it's going to be very exciting playing her because she's a departure from who I usually play.
All right. Thank you, Jana. And next is going to be Kat. Kat, would you describe your character?
Name's Kat. My character is Amelia Winters. She's a private investigator. And she's worked pretty hard in the city to get a good reputation going with getting cases and whatnot. So it should be fun to see what happens.
All right. And I introduced myself. I'm John. I'll be the keeper. And then we have a brand new person to the Discord server, and I look forward to playing some Call of Cthulhu with him. John, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
Hi, I'm John without the H. I'll be playing Johnny O'Shea, a man from a dead time and pretty well out of place in this large city. Also, Paps, please sponsor us.
Yeah, I'll take whatever any money that anyone wants to throw at me. We will take it. So today, with one. Yeah. So today we are going to be playing a scenario called the Idol of Thoth. And I'll just kind of throw it up right here. There we go. The Idol of Thoth. It is written by Joe Trier. Please forgive me, Joe, if you hear this and I butcher your name. He is also a member of the How We Roll podcast. And I actually use their podcast as a guide on how to run the scenario. So if you guys don't have fun, blame me But just remember that I listened to their podcast to figure out how to do this. That's a joke. Please don't kill me. All right. So we are going to begin our before we begin our scenario, let's kind of run through how you guys know one another. Because it's a very mixed group of people, and let's just kind of I'll give the beginning scene here, and I'll let you guys role play on how you know one another and what brought you to the museum. Maybe you can explain that to one another. Okay, so we begin our scenario. It's 9 a.m. Tuesday, the 10th, February 1935. You've been called to the Boston Museum of Fine Art by the manager and owner, a Mr. Warren Hollister, to help with the matter of utmost importance. And so, yeah, we begin with you outside of the front of the museum. You all kind of show up, not as a pack, but you stagger in there to around the same time. And here's a quick description of what you see. You stand in an impressive court in front of a large neoclassical building housing the Museum of Fine Art. Its white stucco mimicking the stonework of ancient Greek and Roman construction. Palatial wings spread out around you on each side of the entrance building. Huge windows dominating their facades with no expense spared in their ostentatious frontage. Ahead, the central building rises higher, taking the shape of a Greek temple, fronted from the first floor by 4 iconic columns supporting the exquisitely sculpted entablature, detailed with elaborate characters of gods and beasts, self-crowned by a typically triangular and ornamented pediment defining a 2-sloped pitch roof. Its braggadocian design invoking the ancients as if to give off more history than its mere construction would allow. It's a mild morning, and in the distance you can hear the sounds of commuters going about their day, a steady thrum of traffic, audible above the icy gust of wind that chill your extremities and hasten you towards the entranceway. Inside is no less grand, an impressive gallery filled with beautiful statuary and striking works of art set in gilt frames. You are met by the owner of the museum, a portly gentleman named Warren Hollister, and the curator of the Ormond exhibition, a striking woman named Miss Browning. So we maybe I read the first paragraph a little too hastily, or the last paragraph a little too hastily. So we'll just start with you guys in the entrance of the museum, kind of just walking in the precipice and looking around.
I think I would be separate than the rest of the group.
That's
So
fine.
I guess, yeah.
That's fine. Let's say that Johnny, you walk in, and Amelia, you walk in as well, and but the first person there that you see, just standing, kind of looking in awe, is Evie Parks, who you don't yet know.
Now, Amelia, tell me again why you're dragging me here.
Because I had an extra invitation and my brother turned me down.
And that invitation says Egyptian extravaganza. For one night only, the fabulous finds of noted explorer and Egyptologist Professor Arthur Ormond will be on show to the public at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. Incredible artifacts, including the fabled idol of Thoth, will be on display for the first time. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Thursday, February 10th, 5 p.m.
So I think at this point, probably after parking the car, Jacob gets out and starts walking in and sees a group of people here, and he immediately recognizes Evie because they've sort of traveled together, and he greets her, and then he probably looks at Johnny and Amelia and nice to meet you both. What are your names?
Johnny will tip his hat at you. It's a very beaten up black leather cowboy hat with a rattlesnake skin band and an eagle feather. He does not look like the average person you would see in what city were we in again?
Arkham.
Boston.
He does not look like someone you would normally see in Boston.
Normally see in a city.
Especially not Boston.
Johnny, nice to meet you. And you?
I happen to be named Amelia. Nice to meet you. For my hand out to shake.
I'll shake it.
Begrudgingly, right? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and then you're kind of just standing there in awe. You see Jacob, who you maybe not have seen in a while, and then these two strangers. Are you still kind of gazing in awe, or would you like to introduce yourself?
I am absolutely ignoring what everybody else is saying. I am making frantic little notes in my tiny little notebook, and I just sort of grab Jacob's sleeve, drag him over, and just start talking a mile a minute about the thing we see in front of us.
Okay, and what you see in front of you are two people approaching you, and you recognize one man. His name is Warren Hollister, and he's walking with a woman who you don't quite yet know, but I did already give her name out, so I'd keep her on my behalf. And you see Mr. Hollister approaching you, and he's gonna speak nervously. He's like, hello. You're all very here very early. I don't understand what you're doing here right now. Evie, it's great to see you again. Great to see you. Is there anything that I can do for you?
Nothing that I can think of. Just let me look. I need to look. I need to take everything in. All of it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a look roll, or a spot hidden roll.
Okay, what do I roll for that?
You're just going to roll a D100, and on your character sheet, there should be under skills, say spot hidden.
Yeah.
And you want to roll under that amount.
Into that, and I rolled an 18.
And what is your spot hidden skill?
Spot hidden is 25.
Okay, so that is a regular success, which is great. And what you see is everyone behind Mr. Hollister just kind of frantically running back and forth, and they all seem to be originating from one section of the museum. Mr. Hollister then reaches out to you and says, okay, you can look, but please don't touch. We've already had enough people touching. Someone broke into our exhibition last night and stole a very valuable piece from our brand new exhibit, which we'll be showcasing tonight.
Which piece was stolen?
And he says, you look like a learned man. Are all these other people with you?
Well, we all arrived here under the same invitation, so
Okay.
suppose.
And just as you say that, there's a woman who looks like she is, I'll let her describe herself to you, but she just burst open both the doors wide open, and she just walks in by herself. That woman is Catherine.
Just burst in, first, dressed to the nine, and, looks around well, certainly it's a thing to take in. And, notices the other group of people and, hello, am I late for the exhibit?
Mr. Hollister looks at you, and the woman who no one has asked what her name is yet also looks at you, and they both recognize you from the, I guess we call it the silver screen. Mm-hmm. You have been in a few movies. You are a relatively well-known actress in that area. So he's like, "Oh my, Miss St. Clair, didn't expect you to be here. No, you're never too early, and you're never too late." So
Jacob sort of looks around, wasn't this guy just reaming the other four people here for being too early?
It's money, Yeah.
St. Clair, Kristen St. Clair? I think I saw you on the silver screen once or twice now.
Perhaps you could say that.
It's definitely a pleasure to meet you.
You as well, Mr.
Oh, Mr. O'Shea. and he tips his hat once again.
Mr.
And
O'Shea.
he kind of like elbow nudges Amelia a little bit.
Amelia, are you
Pleasant
taking that?
surprise seeing you here.
So Amelia is kind of starstruck.
Just having it dawn on her.
Understood.
Miss St. Clair, this is quite a surprise.
And
Well-
Evie, you're kind of still looking around, or are you even worried about the woman who just burst into the door? We'll get back to her. Oh, sorry, there you are.
Sorry, I was typing something else. Evie needs to be put on a leash because she does not care.
Okay, so you're just so entrenched in the history. Yeah, you're just so entrenched in the history right now. You're just like making notes of everything you can. And
She's seen it all in books. She just wants to see it all in person, and she wants to touch everything.
Absolutely. Mr. Hollister knows that about you, and you kind of lead the way to where everyone is going, because obviously that is where the most action is going down right now. So you're interested in finding out what they're looking at as well. So you're kind of ahead of the pack. And Mr. Hollister says to Catherine St. Clair, "Oh yes, you can come with us. You can have a sneak peek of the exhibit tonight. But please don't mind the mess. We had a little issue last night." And he kind of he stands next to you and kind of just stick your arm inside of his, and he kind of leads you down the hall, and everybody else is following suit.
I thank you for the generosity.
Johnny will glance over at Amelia. Well, they say they got something missing. Well, it looks like they got lucky inviting us then.
Indeed.
John, can Jacob kind of lag behind the group and sort of walk with the woman whose name we don't know yet, and sort of try and interact with her and see if maybe she's the one who sent us these invitations to show up early to this event?
Absolutely, that's not a problem. Well, go ahead and roll just a charm.
Oh, I don't know if I'm. Let's see if
or
I
a charm,
remember.
a charm, or a charm, or any kind of like verbal.
Verbal. All right, let me see if my persuasion's better.
Yeah, persuasion. Sorry, I don't have a. I should probably have a character sheet in front of me so I can see exactly the skills I need to talk about.
You're good. All right. Yep, my persuade is a 60. I rolled a 22, so that is a hard success, right?
That's a hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard success. So she looks at you and sees that you're about to talk to her, and you're the first person to actually acknowledge her existence. And she says, "Hello, my name is Ethel Browning. I am caretaker and the exhibition manager for this specific exhibit tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here. Who are you?"
Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Jacob Orlean, Dr. Orlean. You could call me Jacob, though. I left that behind a while back. Do you happen to know who sent us all these invitations? And I show her the invite.
Yes, you got the invitations by... Well, you got them by the curator, Mr. Warren Hollister. And one of the things that Mr. Warren Hollister forgot to tell you was somebody printed the invitation time wrong, which is why you're there a little early. Well, very early.
So it's just a clerical mix-up then, I suppose, but I won't begrudge spending a little bit of extra time in the museum, seeing some of the artifacts, those that weren't stolen at least.
Yes. He did say something about the artifacts being stolen. But if you let's get to the exhibit first, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. And as you do that, you guys get to the exhibit, and I'm going to read this handy dandy section here. The newly constructed atrium contrasts boldly to the rest of the building's more traditional neoclassical design. Opening the large set of double doors, you enter a brightly lit atrium through large enough to serve as a ballroom. The room is rectangular with rounded corners and is two floors high. Each of the levels are lined with horseshoe arches and balustrades and overlook the central space. I'm not sure what that means. I can figure that out though. Reminding you of a church's ambulatory. While sober in style, the arches and columns supporting them are highly detailed in a style carelessly mixing Hindu and Islamic designs. The white facing and multi-tiered construction gives the space an almost wedding cake-like character. The room is dominated and generously lit by an impressive glass canopy held up with sleekly engineered metalwork. The room is further illuminated by a huge set of windows on the opposite side of the room, which look out into a beautiful landscaped lawn sloping down a particularly frozen decorative lake. A short A short flight of stairs leads down to the main floor, and from this vantage point, you have an enviable view of the Ormond exhibit. Hundreds of Egyptian artifacts, each especially chosen for their rare aesthetic and exceptional beauty, have been expertly arranged to both catch the eye and best use the space. At the far end of the room, a strikingly carved stone pedestal, itself on a raised platform, sits the open sarcophagus that until recently contained something called the Idol of Thoth. So, as you go into the room and Mr. Hollister takes you all down to the exhibit and shows you exactly what's going on, he notices, and he kind of takes you exactly to the situation area because he notices that Johnny is a rough and tumble looking person. Amelia, the way that she carries herself, she has this kind of tough exterior, definitely like looks more street smart than book smart. And he can either tell that you guys are either some kind of cop or some kind of person that's going to help him, or you might be part of an organization that was used to steal or get rid of certain items, like the mafia or something like that. So he kind of looks at you a little wearily, and he doesn't quite trust you right now, and you can kind of tell by the look on his eyes. Evie, he trusts 100%. He knows Evie. Catherine St. Clair, he basically would give his wallet to her just because she's a star. And Jacob, you have more of, you're gaining more trust with that hard success. You're gaining more trust with Miss Browning right now. So you're looking at, they call it a sarcophagus, but it is, it's actually 18 inches tall, and it's about half as wide, and it's open. And, it's open right now, and it, well, Mr. Hollister looks at you and says, this is the issue. This is what we're dealing with right now. Thousands of years of precious artifact ruined right here, and we don't know how it happened.
Do you mind if I take a look? Perhaps Evie, you can come take a look with me, see if we can divine anything.
Oh, what? Yes, I'll be right there.
She's still kind of looking at everything, just not necessarily what needs to be looked at.
Jacob kind of grabs her shoulder a little bit, or her coat, whatever, and sort of lightly pulls her towards the broken tomb.
He's reaching back to the left, and it's just, okay, now I guess. All right.
Jacob,
what kind of check would we call it to devise maybe how this was broken into?
Well, you could roll a history check first to know exactly what it is we're looking at. History or archaeology, or if you roll a hard intelligence. So if you roll your intelligence and you roll a hard success, you'll get a little information.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the intelligence because that's my best chance.
And what's your intelligence?
My total is 75.
Okay, so you need to roll at least...
Sorry, that's intelligent. No, intelligence and education are the same, I guess.
So you would need to roll at least a 32.
37 according to the sheet.
Yeah, my math is horrible. Forgive me. So a 37 or lower.
And that's a fail, that's a 56.
Okay, so you kind of are asking a question, and they don't really have the time to kind of decipher exactly what it is you're saying because they don't quite understand you. They don't quite understand exactly what it is you're asking because you don't know exactly what it is you're asking about. You know what I mean? But because Jacob got that hard roll, Miss Browning is a little more open with you. And you hear her say, she explains to you that all of the artifacts in the exhibition, including the sarcophagus, which held the statue of Thoth, were acquired at great expense from the estate of Mr. Arthur Armand, who has become very, very ill, like deathly ill.
And I like lay on the Kathleen on the charm to Mr. Hollister. It's like, so describe this stone that was taken. Why would, like, what's so special about it that it would be the focus of, beyond all these other wonderful items in your museum?
Yeah, is it fair to say there are like jewels and stuff everywhere, and these people went for like the rock in the middle?
There is not there's not stones or anything laying anywhere, but
I guess she's just trying to find out more description of what was taken.
yeah, go ahead and roll your charm roll.
All right. Better be good.
You mind if I roll like a history roll in the background of this to see if I can remember anything?
Are you rolling? Well, yeah, roll your history roll and then let me know what it is you're trying to find out with your history. More about the idol or...
Okay.
I got a regular success because I rolled, my charm is 60 and I rolled a 39.
Okay, and what was it again you were asking?
I was just asking, like, Leon the charm, asking him to describe the stone and why it would catch someone's eye versus everything else in the museum.
Okay, so the idol of Thoth, Mr. Hollister looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm surprised you have an interest."
I dabble.
The idol of Thoth, it arrived. It's over 3,000 years old, and although its true origins are unknown, legend has it that it was part of the very essence of Khonshu, the god of the moon, which was stolen from Thoth. However, some say that it was actually a gift from the pharaoh of the Blackest Night to his highest priest. He also says to you, and Miss Browning is kind of listening to what he's telling you as well, just so you're aware. Because even though he's the curator, she is, the person who is kind of turning the gears, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So the Egyptians carved this beautiful sarcophagus of a strange and peculiar design. However, when the light of the full moon shone upon it, legend says that it would open to reveal something inside. That something inside is actually the idol. And it is the idol itself. Some might say it's alien, but it looks like it is made of some kind of diamond.
Can I make some kind of check to see if I know where we're at in the phase of the moon?
Asking all the hard questions.
You can, but I honestly would bullshit an answer. So yes, you can. I need you to roll a natural
world.
Yes, natural world roll.
And I have a few points in that at least. That's an 18, so that is a success for me.
Nice.
All right. It was a full moon last night.
Johnny, upon overhearing that this thing is supposed to open under the moon, well, there was the full moon last night, so that explains how they probably got it open. Now, what we really need to know is why someone wants this thing and how they got the moonlight in here.
What's a glass ceiling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Evie, are you actually looking at the sarcophagus at all, or are
Yes,
you just kind of looking at everything else? Would you
No, I'm
mind
looking-
rolling? Would you mind rolling me? Which do you
Sorry, I
have?
missed this part about the glass ceiling.
No, that's okay. Do you have Egyptology or a science roll or history? Do you have anything in history?
I have 60 in history. And
Go
I think
ahead and
that
roll a
makes-
history roll.
Yeah, that's gonna be my highest out of those. So.
Yeah, I failed my history roll doing this, so I think it makes sense. If Evie succeeds, she could tell me what's up.
Evie wasn't really paying attention to you.
Idiots. I rolled a 32, so I succeeded. So
That is a hard success. So, while you're looking at this sarcophagus, like I said before, it's 18 inches tall and it's about half as wide, covered in elaborate designs. And you notice something about those designs from your time with Mr. Hollister, and also just your regular reading in the library when it's slow and things like that. So you reveal to the rest of the group, or as much as you want to the group, that much of the design and iconography is similar to those found in artifacts from the 18th dynasty around 1350 BC. Strangely, there are a number of irregularities with the hieroglyphics. It would take further study to be sure, but the use of a hieratic or priestly script uses pictograms that you have never seen before, and there are also a number of unknown and disturbing images which do not seem Egyptian in its origin. If you do, from your studies, though, recognize these words, you decipher Thoth, gift, gods, moon, theft, and curse on the cartouche. Other than that, you can't really read too much of it.
I'd like you all to listen to that, but in a mile-a-minute British lady's voice.
Yeah.
And she's first and go, "Oh, well, that's not good."
Now, first off, slow down a second.
No,
You're talking a mile a minute.
that's
Now, what you're saying is that not only are they writing in a language that shouldn't have existed at the time, but there's some kind of curse on this.
yes, curse. There's no details that I can part out, but it doesn't seem like it would end very well for people who took it.
Amelia, I need you to roll a luck roll for me, please.
Okay, let me see.
While she's doing this, Jacob's running a self-inventory on why he didn't understand any of what Evie found out from looking at the sarcophagus.
So you're saying you're just a little jealous, maybe, that she knows about this and not you?
Just a little bit.
Doesn't go outside very much.
I rolled a 20, so I think that's a hard.
That is a hard
Pass.
success, so you're fine. But Mr. Hollister looks at you, and you can see him staring at you, and it's not like he's staring at you like just eyeballing you like this, but he's like you can see he's glancing at you more, you and Johnny, more than the others, and you think it might be because it's how you look. Mr. Hollister does kind of say something like, "Oh, what are you guys, cops or something?"
Funny you mentioned that because I happen to be a private investigator.
Oh, that's why you look so.
So you can relax
grizzled.
on the hard eyeing. I'm not on the other side of things.
Well,
As for me, I work as a bounty hunter. Usually, Amelia will drag me along when she feels like she might need some extra muscle.
okay. Is that an intimidation?
No, that was just
Okay.
meant to be a general explanation.
Just a friendly description.
Just the I know that you know, so chill the hell out. I got it. That's cool.
Mr. Hollister, you haven't contacted the police about this yet? Or
No. We have not contacted the police because the exhibition is tonight. We were hoping to get some people within. I called an investigator myself, and they never arrived. And it's a good thing that you're here.
I understand. Why don't you say fate?
I hate to spring this on you all, but I know that I've been giving you a little bit of an issue, Miss Winters, Mr. Roche. Would you all be interested in a job?
Oh, I'm already here. I may as well hear you out. Try and figure this out for you.
I mean, if Amelia there's fine with it, and I'm probably liable to work myself.
The rest of the team, do you have anything to say about that? Do you want to get in on it, or you kind of want to?
I was gonna say, Amelia, you wouldn't mind if I perhaps tagged along?
I wouldn't mind that at all. You have good expertise.
Someone around here's got to do the thinking.
And maybe I should come as well.
Oh.
Miss St. Clair?
It's also fascinating. What a lark. I could do with a little bit of excitement, I believe.
And you kind of see Miss St. Clair kind of like clutch at her dress and kind of like, ooh, all the excitement. He and Mr. Hollister, that's all I can think of is like an old timey, like just excitement.
Yeah.
Like this is all very exciting to you because it's not a movie or it's not fake this time. This is a real case. He says that, again, tonight is the grand opening of the exhibition, and the sarcophagus is one of those centerpieces. Like, people want to see that because story has it that the sarcophagus can never be opened. He's willing to pay you $30 a day plus a finder's fee to retrieve the idol if you can return it before 5 p.m. when the guests start arriving. If you do that, he'll also give you a $100 bonus.
What time is it now?
It is now, we'll say it's 10 a.m.
So we got just about 7 hours to figure this out.
Mr. Hollister, do you have any security at this museum we can perhaps speak to? They sell anything?
We don't have security, but the manager of the museum, Mr. Hold on. Sorry.
I understand how hard it is to remember the names of the help.
Yeah, yes. There's always Miss Ethel Browning, who knows a lot about the exhibits. But there's also like a caretaker who we haven't seen today. Could someone roll a spot hidden roll for me? Someone let that someone be Johnny. Or actually, no, sorry, Catherine.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we got some lightning going on outside.
I got a 1, so I think that's a hard success.
Oh yeah, that's an extreme success.
Damn.
Oh.
So that's amazing.
You see
wait.
everything.
Wait, let me. Is that no? I think that's wrong because it's
On your tens, is it a 0?
no. On my 10, it's a 1. Wait, on my 10s, it's a 0. Yeah, on the 10s, it's a 0. On this is a 1. Is that right?
Double zero and then a 1.
Yeah, 00 and a 1.
That's a 1.
That is a perfect
okay.
1.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Still learning.
So you notice that there is a small table that sits before the platform of where the sarcophagus is, and seems grossly out of place from the other things in the room. It's cluttered and disorganized, chaotic notes, and its untidy makeup. Most of the papers, but you see pens, inks, wax, and 2 reference books. Sorry, I'm reading you the wrong thing. Forget I even said that. Forget I said that.
Said what?
Yeah. You see. Shit, I can't let that one go to waste. You see Miss Browning. You see Miss Browning, and she kind of looks a little nervous, but she also has she has that smile on her face, like that very scared and nervous smile, like the customer service oh shit smile.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like the guy the person you know is gonna give you a hard time walks up to you and you just put on that smile, like please don't treat me like an asshole. That smile.
Oh god, this fucker.
I'm gonna slide.
That smile.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide over to her and just link my arm with hers, but grip it tightly so no one else can see, but she can feel it, and assure her, I'm sure you're just as distraught about everything that's happened, and anything could probably help, don't you think?
She can see and sense in your tone that you can tell that she's a little anxious. And she tells you that Mr. Arthur Armand, who is he's ill, but he's not the bedridden kind of ill. She tells you that he's been committed to treatment in the Arkham Sanatorium, but she doesn't know very much more after that. She can also tell you that the collection itself is considered extremely valuable, containing a multitude of relics from Egypt's Ptolemaic period, right back to the Middle Kingdom. There's no academic relationship between the artifacts. Rather, he has focused on objects of outstanding artistic beauty. So it's not like these objects all are like a collection from the same period.
Mm-hmm.
They are just the prettiest of the bunch.
I like to think,
therefore, we'll get the most money.
I like to think that's why Evie has been just jumping around trying to figure out what's happening.
There's no chronological order to Dyrick's evidence driving her bananas.
So it's confirmation that he is a man of fine taste, and any one of these objects someone would greatly take. So again, why one stone, one idol? She's really talkative now because she feels trustworthy in you. And she says, up until last night, it's believed that no one ever managed to open the sarcophagus. So how the thief managed, she says to you, she does not know. Would you roll a psychology check? 48, so it's under my 55.
Okay. What she's saying to you is not the whole truth. So it leads you to believe that there is investigation outside of the museum that will need to be followed up on.
I'm just gonna squeeze her arm a little tighter, but I'm gonna have a smile on my face, and I'm just gonna lean in and whisper and be like, "Dear, in acting, I can tell when others are acting and when they're lying. Just a thought." And I pat her hand and let loose her arm.
She's very scared now, and she gives up a name. There's a man named Clarence Butterfield, and he's missing.
Mrs. Butterfield's husband.
He didn't show up for work this morning. He's a brilliant researcher and an expert Egyptologist. But he's very slovenly dressed and indolent. It looks like he sleeps in all the time.
Sounds like a man of the bottle.
Yeah, and she also goes on to say that these thieves, no windows were broken. The only door that's in there was still locked when Mr. Hollister arrived this morning, and shows no sign of being forced. There are only 2 keys. One is in her possession, and one still in Mr. Hollister's. How the thieves got in and out is a complete mystery.
So
Um,
I have a question.
Mhm.
Did I overhear any of that, or are we
Yeah,
assuming it's
she's
public knowledge
kind
that-
of talking. Yeah, she's kind of talking a little louder now because Catherine has taken a liking to her, and Catherine kind of catches the eye of pretty much anyone that
Mhm.
is in the room with her just because she's famous. And if she's taking a liking to something, people are probably going to wonder what it is that's going on to take a liking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Miss-
I'd be curious. I'd probably go over there as well and just ask, do you know what asylum Mr. Armand might be institutionalized in? I'd like to perhaps talk with him.
Yes, he's in the Arkham Asylum.
And out of character, how far is that from this museum? Is it like in town or just an approximation?
I tell you what, I'm gonna roll a 1d4. It's gonna take you 4 hours to get there. But if you start driving and you roll a successful drive roll, I'll let you roll 2d6 to take that many minutes, or 2d6 times 10, take that many
Okay.
minutes off of the drive.
All
So
right,
if you roll a
Jacob.
12, you
Jacob-
would essentially get 2 hours off of your drive time.
Yeah. Jacob is really, in his mind, he's kind of already seeing some similarities to maybe some of the previous investigations he's been on. So he really wants to, I think, talk to Mr. Armand. So he's gonna, I think it might be most prudent if you all continue the investigation here, and maybe I can go interview Mr. Armand to see if he has any information he could give to us.
Mr. Orlean,
Yes, sir.
how are you as a driver?
Let me check my character sheet. Not a very good one, Johnny.
So, as a player, mine is 45. Is yours higher?
I'm at 20, so
Well, I'll tell you what. Seems like nobody should really be going into one of them asylums alone. If Miss Amelia there, you don't think you need me for the moment, I might just accompany you.
would be perfect.
That would be a rather good idea, I think.
Evie, I assume you'll want to stay here at the museum.
I'm not done looking, so yes.
One
Yes.
bit of muscle, one bit of brain, 2 groups. That sounds like a better idea to me than having both in the same place.
All right, so you guys are saying you want to split up.
Yep. Always split the party.
Totally never ends badly for anyone.
Okay, that's no problem.
Leave the women to do the brains investigation.
So who's going where? I'm sorry, because there literally is a section in here that says splitting up the party.
Me and Johnny are going to the asylum to go interview Mr. Armand.
And remember, and I'll say this out of character, that Call of Cthulhu loves to have you go to the library. Completely up to you. So, yeah, we have a number of choices, a number of places that you all can go, and I'm trying to figure out.
Well, in character,
Yeah.
Catherine's going to ask if it was locked when Mr. Hollister opened this morning. How could you be sure that this idol's even left the museum? Could it not be moved somewhere hidden in the museum to be taken out at some other time?
Roll a listen roll, please.
So many rules.
That was a fail.
Okay. You hear some bangs and clattering in the distance, but you don't take any note to it because it could be somebody just like sweeping something up or something. She looks at you and says, I can assure you that is not in the building.
Very well. Just a thought.
So, out of character, the places that you can go now, because I know it's kind of been all over the place. Some of the places that have been described are Arkham Sanitarium. You could go to the local university, Miskatonic University. We talked about Clarence Butterworth. He didn't show up to work today. So you might want to maybe scoot on by and check on him. And you can always go to the old newspaper or the library. Call of Cthulhu loves to check the newspaper.
So do we have the address for this Clarence Butterfield?
Miss Browning says, I'll happily get you his card. And she walks to the office and is right back right away with a card that says Clarence Butterfield. What exactly is his title?
Science dude.
Yeah, he's a research Clarence Butterfield researcher.
Clarence researcher.
How far away is he from the museum?
He's gonna be.
Don't you get another 4, John?
I rolled a 6. I rolled a 6, so he's gonna be 60 minutes away. But a successful drive will take you down in. A successful drive will take you 1d6 times 3 minutes closer to your. So instead of an hour, if you rolled a 6, you'd get 18 minutes off of that, so you get 48 minutes.
What if I'm? Should I be rich enough to have a driver?
Roll a luck roll.
Luck roll.
Yeah, roll a luck roll to see if you remember to tell your driver to stick around.
Okay.
Now I see why drive auto is important.
I'm rich. I don't have to drive anywhere. So if it's under, I get it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, what would be the chances of me having my own vehicle?
Roll a luck roll.
So I got 26 of 65, so that's a hard success, correct?
He's been sitting out there with the heat on, waiting with the car, just waiting on you to come back.
Give that
He
man
thought
a
you might
raise.
get bored. He thought you might get bored with the exhibit.
I mean,
That is a 22,
Okay, 22, and out of what is your luck?
65.
Okay, did you literally just roll the same exact thing? Is that what just happened?
I had a 26.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
okay.
did better than me.
Okay, your car is parked. You parked it down the road a little bit, so just in case anybody saw it, they didn't know if they recognized your car. They didn't know where you were. So
Johnny turns to Jacob. Hurry up. We'll take my Ford.
Sounds good.
all right, and are all the ladies sticking together?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn to Amelia and be like, Miss Winters, wasn't it? I believe I heard you were a private investigator. I believe I might need your expertise if we are to take out this Butterfield fellow.
I think that would work most excellent, sir. Excellently. That.
The Freudian slip. Called her your excellency.
She's tongue-tied. She's tongue-tied because she's not used to being around stars. Evie's been particularly quiet. I think she might be taking everything in. Evie, you are master of your own here. You can decide whether you want to stay or if you want to go.
I'm gonna stay. I got in here early. I'm gonna look at everything. Great.
All right. So with that, we know where our characters will be going. With that, that's going to end part 1. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that'll end part 1. Insert suspenseful music here. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back for part 2. For those of you that are watching or listening to this, you will see part 2 or hear part 2 the following week. I hope that you stick around and tune in for part 2 because we are just getting into the thick of things. And
Things are about to get real.
Splitting the team up 3 ways is not something that I prepared for. And so
What could go
what's
wrong?
new? Yeah, so what's new with that? All right, well, thank you all for watching and listening, and we'll see you in part 2.